Welcome everyone. In this video we will see the release notes of version 1.1.0. When user tries to delete the Git branch, it will ask for the confirmation like this. Earlier we used to get some extra characters before this curly bracket, but now logs will be clear. This is example of passing noCycle true flag in events and pre-hooks and post-hooks. So for this code, we are not waiting for this getById call to be finished, and we are continuously doing 100 API calls in parallel. So it is possible that this API's pre-hook might be calling the same event again, so it can create a circular dependency and it can go into infinite loop. So if we hit that, system is throwing errors in the console that it is giving the circular dependency, there is a cycle. The thing is happening is we are executing event L1, it is calling this getById, and in the same stack we are again getting this getById because earlier call is not completed yet. So that's why system is throwing this error. Now the solution for that is, we know that there is no cycle, but we want to let system know that there is no cycle and don't give me this error. I know what I am doing. So we can pass noCycle true. If we pass that, and let me clear the logs, if I send that, now we see every API call is getting success. So by passing noCycle, we technically broke the link between this event and this getById. So for now, it means that we are just hitting event L1. We are not creating circular dependency here. So if we just do await here and get the response, then in that case this noCycle is not required at all, because we got the output and again we are getting the result. So this noCycle true is required if we are not awaiting and continuously without waiting for previous call. Parallelly we are hitting multiple API calls from the events or pre-hooks and post-hooks. All other places it is not required. For example, let's go to custom APIs. Here it is same code, we are not doing await and we are doing 100 parallel calls. Okay, let's clear the logs, and we are not passing noCycle true. We got the result and we got all the outputs. There is no cycle detected error anywhere. So from custom API, scheduler, third party, migration script and test cases, there is no need to pass noCycle true, because technically it is not possible to call these same custom API from the pre-hook or post-hooks of this API call. So it cannot create a cycle. That's why there is no need to pass at all. By default, it is passing noCycle true here in case of custom API, scheduler, third-party, migration script and test cases. This is example of hook execution skipping. So when we do this getById call, first it will execute pre-hooks of this getById, then actual getById and post-hooks of this getById, and then we'll get the output. So our consoles are empty. We hit this, we got the output and we see the logs. We get the pre-hook 1 and post-hook 1. If we see the API getById, we have a pre-hook and there we have a g.logger.log, and in a post-hook we have a g.logger.log. So that's why we are getting this. Now let's clear the logs and everything, and we pass this skipHookRunning true, and when we hit this, it will skip the execution of hooks and it will actually execute only the DB call. So that is the use of skipHookRunning. There is a new feature, run on native process. So for that, I'll show you how normal execution, which is sandbox execution, is working. So when user is doing any custom API call, it will be received by API maker, and that call again, it will go to the sandbox, and actual code execution will happen inside the sandbox. And output of that call will be come from API maker through user. This is sandbox execution. Now in case of native execution, that custom API call will actually executed by API maker backend process itself. So it will not go to the sandbox. So when code is executed inside the sandbox, you will get all the sandbox packages there, G global object and sandbox operating system. It can be Alpine Linux or Ubuntu, whatever you can set from the sandbox settings. Now when code is executed inside the API maker process, it will have access to API maker packages, not the sandbox packages. This package is required for API maker to run. G global object will be available, so you can do all the database related stuff, and the host operating system where actual API maker is installed. Now there are some advantage and disadvantage of this native execution. When it is executed inside the sandbox, code is more secure and it provides the safety. Let's say even if we write the infinite loop, we can recover from that because sandbox will be recreated after some timeout. But if we write the infinite loop here, it will stop the execution of entire process and it can crash the API maker itself. It will impact on other API calls also. So only do this native process call when you know that it is completely secure and safe to do, and you are doing for performance benefits. If you execute code directly on the native process, it will give you performance boost, but it is less secure. So why this native execution feature is provided? So that you can write high performance pre-hooks or post-hooks which can have small piece of safe code, and high performance custom APIs, schedulers and events which are doing mostly DB related operations. We always recommend you to write and execute code for sandbox only, but in case of very special scenarios, you can run on native execution also. So for that, in case of custom APIs, we just need to make native execution true, and that's it. It will run on the native process. In case of pre-hooks and post-hooks, you will see this flag. In case of schedulers, you will see the same type of flags there. Thank you so much for watching.